this episode of CobbTV, we are talking about the drumming style of Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones. Yes, and be sure to like and subscribe for more epic musical content. Now, Charlie actually started out playing the banjo, but he wasn't a fan and he really wanted to play the drums, so he took the head off of the banjo, put it on a stand, and started practicing on that with brushes, eventually evolving into a full drum kit and playing along to jazz records. Charlie has always had a love affair with jazz, even though he plays in the Rolling Stones. And so his biggest influence as far as rock and roll goes is Jerry Allison, the drummer from Buddy Holly and the Crickets. But Charlie is more than a capable rock drummer, obviously. He wasn't just stuck with jazz. In fact, he was the first paid member of the Rolling Stones. That's how bad they needed his professionalism. And he truly is a professional drummer with a lot of discipline, because it takes a lot of discipline to be able to play the same beat all the way through a song and have it become one of your biggest hits. Yes, that is I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Now, the thing technique-wise that Charlie Watts is most famous for is this thing where he moves his right hand out of the way and allows his left hand to play a bigger backbeat. And this is something he didn't do right away. So kind of around the Some Girls album, somewhere between the mid to late 70s is when you start seeing him utilizing this more. But if you want to start practicing this technique, a good song to start on is Miss You. Another great example where you can practice this one on in a more funky context, which it works perfect for funk grooves, is going to be on the song Anybody Seen My Baby? Perhaps my favorite example of Charlie Watts using this famous technique is on
Beast of Burden.
So the thing about being influenced by jazz is also being influenced by Latin jazz. Just take, for example, my personal favorite pattern, Sympathy for the Devil. It's one of my favorite things Charlie Watts plays. He's playing this really cool Brazilian rhythm on the snare drum, and you can see him playing this very, very clearly on the titular film. You could even say that Charlie Watts was influenced by reggae a little bit. I even read in the John Bonham biography, The Beast, about a time when John Bonham, Ringo Starr, and Charlie Watts all went to go see Bob Marley play live. And so on the song Cherry Oh Baby, you're going to hear Charlie Watts' reggae influences on that one. Now let's talk about the way Charlie Watts would approach fills. Oftentimes in the early days, he would use drum fills as motifs, a repeating musical idea, if you will. And if you want a nice simple example of that, just check out the song Get Off of My Cloud. Another great example of him using drum fills as a repeated musical idea is going to be on the song Gimme Shelter, but what I love about this one is he's doing a flam to kick drum kind of back and forth fill. And that's something that Dave Grohl is famous for. And this is years before Dave even picked up the sticks. Charlie Watts, again, being influenced by jazz like many of his peers, could improvise as well, and that's a part of how his style's evolved. He's changed the way he's played based on his current settings, and he played for the Stones for many, many years. So one of my favorite examples of his drumming period is going to be Paint It Black, where he's improvising on the fills a little bit, and he actually plays one of my favorite drum fills of all time, and that's going to be right after the break, leading the band back into the chorus. His main drum kit that we're kind of familiar with, he's got two China cymbals from UFIP, mostly Zildjian cymbals with everything else, and then his ride cymbal's actually a flat ride that he acquired in Paris in the 70s, and he loves the variety of sounds. It's like wine tasting when it comes to his cymbals. And his drum kit, he's been playing Gretsch since '68, but this kit was one that he rented while recording a Ron Wood album, and he fell in love with this Gretsch kit so much that he bought it off of the renters. And there you have it, just a small example and taste of Charlie Watts's drumming style. This is a tribute to Charlie. The reason why I even got into the drumming style videos, I actually did a Charlie Watts video, and it was my first drumming style video. So I wanted to redo it because I've since gotten better at this format. So please like and subscribe for more videos like this, all right? And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.